for details on MIPCOM 2012, some of the latest trends in the media contents market, not to mention Korean content's global competitiveness. We're going to speak with Laurine Garaude, who's the director of the television division at Midem, the host of MIPCOM. We're going to be connecting with Director Garaude, who is over in Cannes, France. Let's welcome her onto the show. Hello, Director Garaude. Thank you so much for joining us. First of all, being that you're so far away, how is the weather like in Cannes?
It's beautiful today, very sunny.
Well, MIPCOM, we're looking at, I think, almost 30 years since this event has been taking place. For some of our listeners who may not be familiar with it, maybe you could tell us a little bit about the event, especially this year, what it's going to consist of. So just tell us, what does MIPCOM 2012 look like?
Also very sunny. It's a great MIPCOM. It's one of the biggest ones ever. We have over 12,800 participants from 104 countries, including 4,400 buyers.
Wow, so it has grown to quite some size. Now, it took a significant amount of effort, not to mention time, to reach the scale that it's at today. Could you tell us a little bit about the history of MIPCOM? For example, maybe you can elaborate a little bit more on MIPTV as well?
Well, we have two major events. They're both the leading events for the TV industry and on all screens. And it is MIPTV, which was first launched, it'll be 50 years next April, and MIPCOM, which was launched later on. And both of them are 6 months apart, very complementary. And MIPCOM was created at the time of the launch of the cable and satellite channels. Because of the explosion in the number of channels, they needed more content, and we had created a show for that. But then with the speeding up of the production cycles, it became evident that we needed 2 shows a year for the TV industry. So now they are sister shows at 6 months of interval.
If we were to take a look at the world contents market, now MIPCOM or MIP Contents plays quite the role there. Could you maybe tell us a little bit more about this international role that it plays?
Well, the MIP markets are really the biggest and most important events worldwide. They are truly international. As I said, we have 104 countries present, both exhibitors and participants and buyers. They are absolutely the leading shows for buying and selling programs, financing, and also co-production, and all the networking necessary to create programs together.
If you look at media, if you look at, in fact, all sources of media, the digital era has been changing the way that we are connecting with broadcasting different mediums and different sources of information. Now, then looking at this trend, this digital trend, how has this technology, this advancement of technology, affected MIPCOM?
Recently, in the last years, we've seen the explosion of technology triggering the need for content on all screens. This has created a need to have more players at the event, with leading players, technology players who are here at the show, like YouTube, Netflix, Hulu. These companies are very, very important because of the audience that they reach, because they are main buyers today, as well as because they are involved in creating content. YouTube announced at the show this week, Robert Kinsel, that they are launching 60 new channels in Europe. And also Netflix presented with Sony the new series House of Cards, starring actor Kevin Spacey, who was here to promote the launch of this series. So we see how important all this is and how it is tightly enmeshed.
Well, in that case, what kind of highlights can we expect from MIPCOM this year?
Well, there are many highlights of this MIPCOM. One of them is that the country of honor is Canada. Canada is one of the leading countries involved in the export of programs in every genre. They're highly active in international co-production and also very creative in the digital media and experimental media space. And Canada is the 4th largest ranking country in terms of numbers of companies at MIPCOM, and we have this year a 14% increase in companies from Canada.
So that was just one highlight right there. I'm sure there are many more. For example, I heard that there's going to be a special CEO from Mexico that's going to be honored at the event as well. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
There are many more. Another highlight is tonight we are honoring Emilio Escarga Jean, who's the CEO of Televiso Grupo from Mexico. This is our Personality of the Year. He's giving a keynote this afternoon. We're having a big evening in honor of this very important personality, and we're very proud of that.
Now, we also have a special screening, if I'm not mistaken. In fact, it's going to be quite a star-studded event. There's going to be a lot of celebrities in attendance as well. What kind of screening is this?
Is that we had, on Monday night, we had a very big screening. It's called the World Premiere TV Screening. And we launched, for the very first time, the pilot of the FX series, which is distributed by 20th Century Fox Television, called The Americans. And it was a packed auditorium with over 700 people. We had the stars from the series, Kerry Russell and Matthew Rhys. It was a huge event. And then a very big red carpet. We have actually never had as many celebrities at MIPCOM. We have over 40, and it's something that is happening more and more because it's very important to the industry and for the consumers who know what shows are coming out now.
Being that you've been with MIPCOM for some time now, was there any changes you saw, especially in terms of the digital market?
That is something new. It's a 50% increase in buyers who are involved in digital at MIPCOM. So that's a significant, that means a lot, and it shows how digital is becoming important in revenue streams for all our clients.
Right. Well, at MIPCOM, one of the things that people can look forward to is the great list of keynote speakers. What kinds of big names can we anticipate this year?
And of course, we've had many top level, very high profile keynotes. I mentioned Robert Kinsel. I mentioned Mr. Escarga. Also Harvey Weinstein yesterday, the very famous producer who did a keynote, who spoke to the audience, and also Jane Campion, very famous writer and director, Oscar-winning award director, who was here with us, talking about her first television series called Top of the Lake.
When it comes to contents, of course, we do want to talk a little bit about Korea's role. This is an event that is on a global scale, right? So how does Korea stand? What does Korea's participation regarding the media contents industry look like?
It's a very, very high and very good Korean participation. We're up 16% in terms of participation, in terms of numbers of companies. We're very pleased that at Mid-Junior, one of the winners of the Kids Jury Award is a Korean company. It's for the program called the Airport Diaries, presented, I think it's a co-production between Korea and China, and the company who won was DFS. So we're very, very happy about that. Also, many deals being announced. One of them is with Sunwoo Entertainment and the French company, co-production with Planet Nemo from France. Due to the support of Coca, which is very, very instrumental at our events, supporting the Korean companies and, of course, encouraging a number of deals. And I think we will find out about many more deals in the next few hours and days.
When it comes to technology, Koreans, themselves, a lot of early adopters. Anytime any new change regarding technology pops up, they're very quick to learn, adapt, and get their hands on that form. Regarding the digital era, I know we talked a little bit about the changes of the advancement of technology, but let's cater it a little bit more specifically to Korea. How has this digital era changed Korea's media or contents market?
Well, Korea is certainly extremely advanced, more advanced than many, many countries, and has a large impact on showing the way for the rest of the world. We know, for instance, at YouTube, the big star Psy had a huge impact because of the 400 million views of the new music video, the Gotham style video. Has been extremely successful, and this artist, South Korean artist, has now very famous. Originally was famous only in Korea, now throughout the world due to YouTube. And I know in Korea you're very, very advanced in many ways. And we thank you for sharing that with us here.
Taking a look back at just the international picture then, We are seeing some growth in the Latin American region in particular. Could you tell us a little bit more about this?
Another highlight of this MIPCOM is the great growth of the Latin American market. We have seen a number of new exhibitors from Chile, from Colombia, great expansion from Mexico and Argentina. We held the first LATAM deal-making lunch yesterday. We were delighted to have Adriana Cisneros from Cisneros Group keynote at that event. Latin America is driving business in many ways and also creating many alliances throughout the world, and that is something that is very important and that we've been encouraging at the market.
Okay, then closer to us, closer to Korea. What about China? In Asia, in fact, in any arena, China is a country of major growth, but more specifically to this media contents industry, how does China look these days?
We're seeing growth from China. We have over 30% growth in terms of numbers of companies from China. And from Latin America, actually, the growth is 36%.
So quite an exciting time then for this industry, especially a lot of people are thinking that different forms of media are dying out because of the advancement in technology, but that's clearly not the case. We are learning to adapt and roll with the punches, right? Well, thank you so very much, Director Garaude, for your time. Lastly, maybe if you wanted to give a quick message to our Arirang TV Insight viewers.
Thank you very much for interviewing Arirang TV. It's a pleasure to have you here in Cannes covering the show and allowing everybody to see what MIPCOM is, and thank you very much.
Once again, that was Director Laurine Garaude, who is the head of the television division at Midem. Once again, they are the host of MIPCOM 2012.